Well, okay, let's get started. Let's make this part of the table that we need to fill in up to the random numbers. And so we have a label here, H0. We're just labeling our null hypothesis and putting in our 0.59. We'll have a whole bunch of trials, total reported, so might have to keep coming back to this, but you know, so I just type in my H0 colon equals, and to make it look pretty, you see I can grab that and bring it in like so, 0.59. And what I may want to do is come over here and left justify it just to make it again look a little better. You know, so I have that, and actually probably best might look if I centered it, and so there we have that. Now I can I guess in the project I suggested making the background yellow, so you know, I find my background piece and choose a yellow, and so we have that. Then in C we had trial, and I think I'll probably center all those, so I'll click on the C and put that in the center. I'll get to the trial numbers in a minute. They don't have to be real big, so I'll make that smaller. And here total reported, so these are our total reported bias numbers, so I highlight that, and I'm definitely going to want that one centered to see it better. And then here now we just have our each observation, and so what I'm going to do is, you know, I know that I'd like to make these boxes not near as wide so I can see them much better. So I'm going to go over here, and when I get to Z, well, that's 26, but I've already used a few of the boxes, and I know I need 33 of them or so. So I'm going to just kind of keep going to here. Then, you know, I'll find column width here. I did a right click and I looked for a column width, and usually I find if I make it about 0.4, that works pretty well for number columns, or 0.3 even. I think I might go 0.3, yeah. So let me do that again. Column width, I'll go 0.3. And so, you know, here I'll have 1, and now again I can just grab this and start pulling and get that. You may not be able to. You may have to actually do the 1 and the 2 together, highlight the 2 of them, and then pull, because it'll have to know what your pattern is. So I do this. Wow, I got that right perfectly at AK there. So there I have the 33 of those. I'm going to highlight the whole column of each one, and again do a center just to make it look better for me so I can read it better. And so now is where I do a conditional statement to either put a 0 or a 1. And so what I want is a 1 59% of the time, and a 0 41% of the time. And so the way we do that, again looking at this, we do the if part. So we're doing what's called a conditional. So we say equals if, and then I create a condition here and then a comma, and then I tell you what to do if it's true, and then a comma, and I tell you what to do if it's false. And so I'll say equals if open parenthesis. Now my condition is I'm going to generate a random number between 0 and 1, and I'm going to check to see if it's less than or equal to that number. Well, if it's a uniform random number between 0 and 1, it should be less than or equal to 0.59 59% of the time. And so that's all I do, is just I check that. Now I put dollar signs because I'm going to have to drag this to copy it all over, and I always want it to look at B1. So in a spreadsheet, if you don't want the cell that you're looking at to change, you need to put dollar signs on the letter and the number. So the dollar sign means the B won't change, and the second dollar sign means the 1 won't change. And so now, comma, and if it's true, I put a 1, so that'll happen 59% of the time, and I'll get a 0 41% of the time. I hit enter, and I'll pull it over to the 33, and there we go. Now, I didn't put my trials in, so I have to put 1. And again, now I can, in my case, I can just do 1 and then drag down. You may have to do a 1 and a 2, and highlight them and then drag them down. But I do that, and I go down here a long way to 1,000. Whoops, went a little past 1,000. And that's actually to 1,001 to get 1,000 rows, but it's kind of nice to have those over there so I can see very easily what I have. And now again, here's a nifty little secret. One thing I can do is I can go here, oops, went too far, go to there, and I can start dragging this down. Okay, but that, and that's fine. It doesn't take too long to do that. But again, the nifty little trick is if for the moment I actually come here and I say, well, okay, I'm going to delete this column. And I'm going to put it back, but I'm going to delete this column. Now these numbers here, these formulas, are right up next to these numbers. So I'm going to make this smaller so you can see the whole thing when I do it, and I can see the whole thing when I do it. But if I highlight that row like that, and then I go here to this bottom right hand corner, and I've got a column to go up against, if I double click this, it automatically fills it in, and I'll go way down to the bottom here, all the way down to the bottom of this row here. So see, that's a really nifty quick way to fill in a whole bunch of rows. But now I need to put my column back, so I'll right click and I'll say insert column before in this case, and I'll widen it up. Because I need to put in, and I'm going to make this bigger again so we can see it a little better. And that was total, and what they call it in here, total reported. Okay, so this is the total reported bias. So total reported. So I have that, and I'll pull that over to make it nice and tight. Okay, and then all I need to do is sum up all my ones of those 33 columns. So I'll say sum open parenthesis, and then I'll just highlight over here until I get to the last one, and then close parenthesis. You can't really see that, but I'll come back so we can see it. So there I have the close parenthesis, and then I just hit enter, and then I use my nifty little trick again. Go here to the bottom right hand corner, double click on it, and I get all my simulations. So there I have all my simulations for 33 responses where the null population, or my sampling population, matches that of the general population, 59% reporting any kind of bias. Okay, so I have that, and I think that's where I'll stop this video.